Shall I read another passage? And I've got to work here. I mean, these passages were suggested by the professor. The guilty one. Let me see. Write them down. Oh yeah, that page 196. It was interesting to go back and be the underdog again. I think it was important. It was an important lesson to have had, particularly for someone who becomes successful, to remember what it was like when you weren't. I need my glasses. This is new. To be a local support act is akin to entering an old pre-democratic subspecies of humanity that was thought to have died out with slavery. As a new member of this subspecies, your self-image is reduced to that of one belonging to a lower caste, a caste of untouchables, lowlifes, invisible men, and ciphers of minute significance. For the privilege of walking onto the big stage, however, there are few performers who haven't suffered this humiliation at some point in their careers, willing to trade the denigration of their fragile egos for the vague promise of the spotlight and a few minutes of attention. The harsh facts, though, are these. No one has paid to see you, and the devotion of those who have paid is generally exclusive to the star of the show. This singular devotion, while flattering to the star, will preclude any chance that they will be interested in watching or listening to the local support act. More likely they will be in the bar quaffing lager while you're bleating your heartfelt songs to a cavernous and empty room. As you now belong to the subspecies, you will rarely be ushered into the presence of the star, or even those close to him. But you will invariably have to deal with the roadies in this entourage in order for you to get your equipment on and off the stage as efficiently as possible. The roadies, generally nasty, brutish, and short, to quote Hobbes, know that they too are members of a lower caste, but not quite as low as yours. And this differential allows them to exercise that uniquely human characteristic of making your life even more a misery than is theirs. I have seen equipment thrown carelessly from the stage and swept aside like so much refuse littering a street before a royal parade. I have heard words that I'd hitherto thought to be only apocryphal. Get that shit out of here! As the amplifier I've sweated and saved for is unceremoniously booted into the wings so that the star's pristine, high-tech equipment can be gracefully wheeled into place. However, not unlike lowly officials in the medieval church selling indulgences, it is in the granting of sound checks where these serfs can exercise their truly malicious power. To walk on stage without having first checked your equipment is about as advisable as jumping out of a plane without having first checked your parachute. It needs to work. The sound levels need to be balanced, and you need to be able to hear yourself, as well as the other members of the band. This takes a little time. The star's equipment will have arrived at some point in the afternoon. The roadies will be ostentatiously tinkering with whatever seems to be the latest piece of technical wizardry to have arrived from the future. They will continue tinkering and posing with their scientific miracles until the star deigns to arrive to perform his or her sound check. The star is invariably late, if he or she bothers to turn up at all, and the Hobbesian serfs will keep up the pretense of tinkering until minutes before the doors are supposed to open, leaving you little time to ascertain that your antediluvian technology is at least working. These are not the best circumstances in which to prepare for an important showcase intended to impress record companies. In this case, the star of the show, Alan Price, the keyboard alumnus from The Animals, has arrived and has commenced his sound check. He is dressed in an impeccable linen suit, cool and cosmopolitan, and utterly unapproachable. He is, of course, a local man, raised in Jarrow, but hasn't lived in the area for years. Mr. Price is an excellent musician, and he puts his band through its paces, changing a few arrangements, checking the monitors and the mics, rehearsing a new number. We're waiting in the wings, patiently seated on our equipment, but time is marching on towards the opening of the doors. He runs through the new number once more, and now there seems to be a problem with his keyboard, which precipitates more tinkering until the band can begin again. Everyone, of course, is oblivious to our needs for the evening as the clock gains inevitably upon the hour. When they begin the number yet one more time, Jerry and I begin to shuffle in our careworn speaker cabinets, staring anxiously at our watches. The Hobbesian serfs are looking at us with a smug, can't-be-helped expression. The master's at work, he can't be disturbed. When I am witness to a sight I shall never forget. Frances was my first wife. Frances, who is up for the week from London and has been seated in the hall watching Mr. Price rehearse, is now leaving her seat and striding purposefully with her long legs and high heels towards the stage. She is still not visibly pregnant and is looking officiously at her watch as she mounts the stairs, a look that signals clearly that if the star's minions so much as think of impeding her progress, they will make a terrible mistake. Jerry and I can't believe what we are seeing, nor can the roadies. We are all open-mouthed. She is certainly impressive, sophisticated, elegant, and not to be messed with. As she approaches the piano at the centre of the stage, I watch as her face assumes an impermeable mask of confident charm, and when Mr. Price eventually looks up, I can see that he is at first shocked, and then not a little intrigued. "What the fuck's she doing?" says Jerry under his breath. I'm unable to answer, so fearful am I. Mr. Price is famously cantankerous. Even now he's trying to convince the muscles in his face to glower, but he can't quite manage it. So powerful is Frances' presence. She speaks to him quietly, out of earshot, and now pointing with authority at her watch and gesturing towards us at the side of the stage, Mr. Price is suddenly transformed from a glowering martinet into a compliant, eager schoolboy. He closes the piano lid and tells the band to quit the stage so that the support act can have a sound check. The sullen roadies cover their precious equipment in black drapes, while Jerry and I gleefully carry the Hammond on the stage. We're almost dancing as we place it proudly in front of Mr. Price's piano. And Frances has now returned to her seat, and I mouth a grateful "Thank you, I love you" from the stage. We play as expected to a virtually empty hall, but there are some record company types from Island Records, Virgin and A&M sitting with Frances in the Royal Circle. We play extremely well, and I ignore the empty seats and sing straight at the centre of the spotlight, imagining a throng of 70,000, which is okay until the end of the number, when all that can be heard are a smattering of almost derisory handclaps. We leave the stage feeling pleased that we've done our best, while the hall fills up for the main act. A few minutes later, Frances arrives backstage with the record company people. We received measured congratulations on our performance, enough anyway to make us feel that we haven't failed. "You're definitely getting better," says one. "Oh, yes, definitely better," says another. "Yep," says the third. And then there's an awkward silence which continues a little too long. Nobody feels like breaking it. Everyone starts taking undue interest in things like shoelaces and posters on the wall, until the man from Ireland says, "Except..." We wait expectantly. "Except you didn't really get the audience going, did you?" "You were the fucking audience," says Jerry. "Yes," he replies absently. "I suppose we were." He's sorry now, that bloke, I tell you. It was good to remember that, because we have support acts all the time, and I hope they're always treated graciously and given time to actually do their job. It's important what they do.